Welcome to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails, inviting you to join the fight to end human trafficking.
Oh, give me eyes to see. Oh, give me strength to lead. You give me all I need. So give me courage to believe.
Each week, Abolition Radio sheds light on the darkness of modern slavery, celebrates the work of abolitionists who are fighting for freedom, and equips the church to engage in the work of justice with hope rooted in God's Word. Our goal is to see a radio audience become an army of gospel activists.
You're in the neighborhoods we live in. You're in the ones we're passing by. You're in the ones we call our neighbors, and the ones who still escape our eyes.
Now here's the host of Abolition Radio, founder and executive director of Love Never Fails, Vanessa Scott.
Thanks, Dave, and welcome to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails. We are in for quite a treat today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but before we do that, of course, I want to introduce my partner in justice. Hey, Miss Bonita Hopkins, the Director of Community Outreach and Education. Did you guys notice that? Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. And also in studio with us, I'm so honored to have with us Mrs. Sharon Miller, who's the CEO of Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. Hi, Sharon.
Hello. Hey,
Hi.
Sharon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, and then also we have with us Regina Evans, who is the Indie Award winner, social change maker in Oakland. Regina Evans. Hello. Owner of Regina's Door. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And then, of course, we have on the line Estelle Cragholm, who is one of our leaders with Love Never Fails and is doing some amazing things in the community that she's going to be talking to you about in just a second. Hi, Estelle.
Hi.
Hi. It's your birthday today, isn't it, Estelle? Or no, that was yesterday.
It is. No,
Today?
Today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're going to have to sing you happy birthday. Okay. The singer is laughing here. The main one who's going to lead the singing is chuckling here. Okay, but we're going to move right on into talking about, as you all know, we like to bring up different topics and not just stay, focused on human trafficking specifically, because really, I always like to say that is sort of it's the final outcome that has occurred because of some root causes underneath. Root causes being poverty, being a lack of education, being abuse. We've talked about all of those variety of issues. And I really believe that providing some options in the way of entrepreneurship is a great way to redirect the path of our young people and provide them an avenue for expressing themselves. And who better to come and talk to us about that than Sharon Miller. So Sharon, tell us a little bit about how you got started with Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center and your heart for this issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've been working for Renaissance, or working with Renaissance, for 15 years now.
Wow.
And I saw it as just a wonderful opportunity to be able to bring skills and resources to people who are doing magnificent things. Right. So the beauty of Renaissance is that we really get to work with extraordinary people who come with drive and motivation. They want to take charge of their own lives. They want to create their own economic futures. They want to create stability for themselves and their families. And what they really need is training, access to capital, access to networks, and other resources that we're able to provide.
Right. Yeah. I've had the opportunity to attend one of your graduations and heard some of the stories. One in particular comes to mind of a woman who had been homeless for some time, and she began to talk about how she took, I believe it was your Secured Futures financial class. And in that, her story was just so amazing in that she had never saved any money in her life. And here she was able to, she was provided tools on how to save, and she was given an incentive. I think it was $1,000. If she was able to save $1,000, then she would receive $1,000, right?
That's right.
The bank. So these are the kinds of programs that your organization is offering to the community. I think it's so awesome. And where are you located?
We have several locations. We're in San Francisco in South of Market and also in Bayview Hunters Point. We're in East Palo Alto on the peninsula. We're in Richmond, in Contra Costa County, and San Rafael and Marin.
You're all over the place.
We are. We serve the full Bay Area.
That's great.
Wow. So I'm going to ask the question. We're here in Alameda County. When are you coming to Alameda County?
We are ready. We are ready.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
so maybe we can discuss, ways that we can help support you in that.
Absolutely.
I think, Hayward, right? Seems
That's
like
right.
a great central location.
Yep.
Look,
It
it's a
is,
little
it is.
selfish there. I'm sorry. Our office is in Hayward, so one of our offices. We are also located in San Jose and as well as Dublin. So we just love what you're doing. And so, tell me a little bit about the folks that you serve and the kinds of outcomes. Right? I know you guys are very outcome oriented. What have you been, aside of the story I just mentioned, but just in general, some of the numbers and people that you're serving would be great to know about.
Sure. The majority of the clients that we serve are lower income.
Mm-hmm.
We serve about 80% low to moderate income people. The majority of those people are women. About 70% of our clients are women. And we work with about 2,000 people a year.
Wow.
And not everyone starts a business right away. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes people make the decision not to move forward. But our clients are starting about 700 businesses every year.
Wow. 700 businesses.
Wow.
That is so awesome.
It is great.
And these businesses are creating economic livelihoods for the business owner, for their families, for the families of their employees, and they're often bringing new products and services to neighborhoods.
Right. Yeah. And so when I look at another person that comes to my mind, it was a gentleman that had talked about how he had established a legacy for his family, and how the way he held his chest up with such pride, he just felt so good about himself that he was able to give not only financially to his family, but teach them a skill that they could then utilize, maybe keep a family business open for generations to come. It's so impactful, so huge. So tell me, just in terms of a little bit of the specifics, if someone wanted to sign up for a class and become an entrepreneur, let's say I have this idea and I don't know what to do with it. How would I engage with Renaissance and what would that look like?
We encourage everyone to come to an orientation first. This way you get to learn what we're about and what our expectations are of you. We want people to come to us with an open mind, of course, and with the passion to start a business. We then let you know we can work with you to determine if your business idea is feasible.
Okay.
Sometimes your idea is good, it's creative, but it might need to be shaped into something that is actually going to generate income for you.
Got it.
So that's the starting point. Once we're clear that your idea is clear, then we work with people in a series of trainings that start with working on your business model, to developing a business plan, to gaining additional skills, anything from marketing, social media, finance, QuickBooks, whatever you need for that business to be solid.
That is awesome. And I know that you also help with financing, like advocating on behalf of your graduates for bank loans and things like that. Are you giving
Yes.
guidance on things like that, or how does that work?
We do require that people either have a business plan or are already in business, and then we can work one-on-one with individuals to help them to access capital either from banks or nonprofit loan funds.
Wow. That is so wonderful. I was just a little funny. What is the name of that show? I just got cable back. I didn't have cable for over a year. But there's this show where you go and pitch your ideas, and then do you know what show?
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
So you guys do a Shark Tank on them or no?
We're much kinder than Shark Tank, you know.
Good.
You know, our goal is to help people to grow,
Right.
not to cut them down.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Yay! No Shark Tank. It's a nice fishbowl.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, so just thinking a little bit about, so you talked about the population that you serve, thinking a little bit about how we can help you with your mission. Is there any, as you know, we serve those that have survived human trafficking or those that are high risk for that. Is there any way that we could help you support what you're doing, because you're doing so much, and we're going to talk about exactly what you're doing with Regina and with Dee Dee, but we're wondering, what can we do to help you?
Well, getting the word out about our work is really important. Making sure that people know we're out there.
Right.
Sometimes we work with people who will come to us and say, wow, you're the best kept secret ever.
Right,
We do not want to be a secret.
Right.
We want to be well known throughout the Bay Area, and the best is to have people recommend us to others.
Awesome. And your website, what's your website again?
It's www.rencenter.org.
Okay, so go check out Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center and see what they have to offer. Again, this is a great alternative for our young people, or for anyone who is looking to pursue their dream. So with that, we'll be right back with another session of Abolition Radio.
We'll be back with more Abolition Radio right after these messages.
Trash bills weighing you down? At Case Industries, we specialize in lowering waste costs and providing trash consolidation and compaction services for multifamily properties, condos, and commercial shopping centers. Let us help you reduce operating expenses and increase property NOI. Case Industries, saving the planet, saving you money. Contact us today for a property trash and recycling assessment online at caseindustries.us or call 510-566-4223. That's caseindustries.us or call 510-566-4223. Case Industries, the property manager's friend.
Hi, I'm Sandra Herrera, CEO of Case Industries. I've found that many employers are looking for ways to help the community but don't know how. I encourage you to consider supporting Abolition Radio as a corporate sponsor. Love Never Fails offers all the resources necessary to help young women and men overcome the trauma of exploitation and abuse. And that's why I'm proud to have Case Industries supporting Abolition Radio.
Welcome back to Abolition Radio, where you are invited to join the fight against human trafficking.
And welcome back to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails. So Sharon, you were just mentioning that this is really an important point for you. What want to share with the audience? Yeah.
So part of the work that Renaissance does is teaching people to have an entrepreneurial mindset, to begin to think like an entrepreneur, and to shift the way you look at the world and look at yourself in the world sometimes, that you are the center and you can make things happen and you can make change happen. You just sometimes need to switch your thinking and gain some new skills so that you can put that into action. And it's a very important part of being a successful business owner and just a successful part of being a good human being.
That's right.
That's
oh my
great.
God. And how perfect to, you can make change happen. Your comment. We have with us the Social Change Award winner for the Indie Awards in Oakland on our line here, who happens to be also our press officer for Love Never Fails. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and owner of Regina's Store at 352 17th Street in Oakland. Yay. Vintage clothing store that is actually empowering young people in the Bay Area and hiring people that have graduated from Love Never Fails Life Launch program. So, Regina, congratulations. Yay. Oh, yeah, we need a clap track. Yay. Oh, there it is, Jerome. Did you hear that? Okay. So, Regina, how fun was that, you winning that award?
Oh, my God. I'm literally still on cloud nine. I'm not often speechless. You guys know me. I'm a chatterbox. I'm still I'm still processing it all. It was amazing. It really was. It was amazing because I've just been pushing because, I'll push things through. I like to consider myself, I'll get it done, kind of person.
You are.
But it's been hard. And I just I never stopped, and so, because I took my class with Women's Initiative, I finished it March, and I opened the business September.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So
it never stopped.
I want the audience to know a little bit about that. So Women's Initiative was actually taken on by Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. When did that happen?
In May, shortly after Regina graduated.
Okay, got it. So isn't this something that, we get to have the benefits of that education that you received? And I want folks to know that those classes are still available, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. And so tell us about the classes, Regina. What sort of, how did they set the stage for what you're experiencing now?
Well, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't take the class. So I took a class where we wrote our business plan. And so I wrote the business plan for Regina's Door in that class, and so I came out with the business plan.
Wow.
And so I was able to submit my business plan to an incubator, a business incubator, small business incubator, and they accepted me into their program, and they actually found my space for me. And so they looked for me. So that's how I got my space. So they liked my business plan. They liked what it was about. And so then it just kept going from there. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of young people. They want to start a business, and older people, too, but they don't want to write a business plan. And to me, I just tell them, just take the time. Because if anything, it gives you an idea of some type of idea of where you're going to go. It gives you an idea of what you shouldn't do and what you should try to do. Because I've had to change my business plan, and I'm in the middle of restructuring the whole thing now, actually. So It's not like it's a living document.
And it helps you figure out how to plan, too, right?
Yeah, it does. But it also, like, there are things that you're in your business, like there are things in my business plan that I've tried that just didn't work. But at least it gave me an idea that I could actually try that, and then I can switch it up. You know, it gives me an idea of what I can do and what I can't do, and if that doesn't work, then I go over here where if you don't write one, you don't even have a blueprint, so it gives you a blueprint, so it gives you a starting point. And, I mean, it's intense. The class was really intense, and my teacher, she was like no joke. But my teacher she's at Renaissance Center now, but she comes by my business now to check on me.
Oh,
and she follows me on Facebook. She calls me. She emails me, how are you doing? And so a lot of the skills that I learned in the class, I do use.
Wow.
And, yeah, a lot of them I do. And so, and I remember her saying, like, one of the things about the entrepreneurial spirit is persistence, patience, and the willingness to change. Those are things that I've learned. I've had someone ask me, what's been your greatest lesson to date about being an entrepreneur? And my answer was that I don't know how to be an entrepreneur yet, that I'm learning. I'm still learning, because it's a learning process. And, you know, there's a lot of skills that go into it that I didn't even realize, you know, and so I'm just learning like every single day and I'm learning about me. I'm learning a lot about me and what I'm able to do and what I'm capable of doing. So it's been a ride. So you have to be very persistent. You have to and patient.
And I want people to know, Regina, that you know, at that time, I believe you were in between. Were you homeless at that time when you started these classes?
I was living in the Tenderloin. Remember, I had the little SRO.
Oh yeah,
in the Tenderloin?
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody was all afraid and scared for me. I was living in the little $600 SRO. I was working at a $10, I think, a 74 cents an hour job. And I was
Retail.
doing that maybe 30 hours a week. I was performing, so I was making some money from there. But I was doing all of that and taking my classes. My classes were twice a week, 6 to 9. So I was exhausted, but I knew it was only a short time span.
Yeah.
And so I knew it wasn't, you know, trouble don't last always. It was, you know, if I could get through it, then I could, you know, make a leap. And so I just kept going. And then when I graduated from the class, and started the business and started having to pay the bills, like, that's when I gave up my space, so I didn't have a home anymore. So because I made the choice.
Right.
I was either going to be able to pay my bills at my little SRO for $600, or I was going to put that money into the space, because I didn't have, like, a lot to start with. So I started with maybe 35 pieces of clothes at the opening, and Benita was taking the sales. So I think we made like $600.
Yeah, we did.
And then a month later, I got a Kiva loan for $5,000. So, and that came from because of the business incubator, which I got into, which accepted the business plan that I wrote from Women's Initiative. So you see, it's all connects.
All
back.
connected. Yeah.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, and I just remember you at that time, the perseverance that you demonstrated, the resilience you demonstrated, and the absolute creativity, just the, unrelenting desire to be a social change maker. It wasn't about making money per se. For you, it was about being a safe place for people to come and to touch fashion and touch fabrics and reconnect with history and people and sense of community. I mean, just you've really made that exactly that. It is a safe place for people to come and just let their hair down, or if you're like me and you don't have very much hair, then just relax, just lay, just enjoy the ambiance and the friendship.
Yeah, that's what it's become, and such. I'm going into I'm in my 10th month now. So, one of the reasons I was so overwhelmed with the award, because about a month ago, two of my community members there at Messiah had to talk me off the ledge from shutting down. So I was like, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. And they're young kids, but they are a very important part of this community. They come in, they help, they clean up, they'll bring clothes. They do everything. They make this place very vibrant. And they came in one day, and I was just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And they literally talked me off the ledge. And so they were both there at the Indie Awards, and they were so happy. Benita was with Messiah. I mean, they were so happy.
We were screaming all over the place.
Yeah, and so it was, and I'm not a person that gives up very easily. I was just tired, I hadn't had a vacation in 10 years. And so I went on vacation for a week, and then I felt better, and then the Indie Award happened, and it just was, not so much that it was an award, but I think when you work hard, most entrepreneurs it's just a way of life. And so for me, it was just a confirmation that what I was doing was the right thing.
Yes, it is. And there's so much more to come. There's so much more to come. We're going to be right back with another session of Abolition Radio in just a second. Thanks so much.
We'll be back with more Abolition Radio right after these messages from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Vanessa Scott with Abolition Radio, where every week we invite you to join the fight to bring an end to human trafficking. Abolition Radio is the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails, our nonprofit, which is dedicated to the rehabilitation, education, and protection of youth involved or at risk of becoming involved in domestic sex trafficking. Our goal with Abolition Radio is to eradicate human trafficking in all forms, sex trafficking and labor trafficking locally and globally. We are excited to bring this program to KFAX as we will share stories of hope and opportunities to mobilize the body of Christ and turn this audience into an army of gospel activists who will speak up for justice and act on behalf of those who are trapped or recovering from slavery. Find us on Facebook at Abolition Radio or on the web at abolitionradio.org and join me each Saturday at 3 p.m. for an exciting episode of Abolition Radio right here on AM 1100 KFAX.
Welcome back to Abolition Radio, where you are invited to join the fight against human trafficking.
And welcome back to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails. Yay!
Yay!
Kofo! We were just talking about how awesome Kofo from Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center has been as a teacher and a mentor to Regina. And thank you so much, Kofo. We really appreciate you. And Sharon was just kind of sharing with us that, really getting on that ledge is really not an option, at least not for Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center, and she's offering her support. Maybe just talk a little bit about how this is probably a natural thing that most entrepreneurs feel. Yeah.
Many entrepreneurs experience what Regina's experienced. It gets overwhelming. It gets overwhelming. It gets scary. You start thinking maybe this really is impossible. And And really having that business plan is critical, because you can look back and say, this is what I plan to do. This is my vision, and this is my vision in writing. It is so powerful. And thumbing through it and recognizing some things may change. You've gone through a process where you have had to think about everything. You know, I think we often have blind spots, or there are things, you know, I love my product, I love making it, I love selling it, but I don't know how I'm going to get it to anyone. You know, people choose not to think about the hard stuff sometimes, or whatever they might find is hard. And writing a business plan, make sure you connect all those dots. You know, you can't leave out finances because you don't like math or whatever. You know, you really have to do the full process, because certainly COFO would not let anybody complete that class without it. But then there are other things too. You get exhausted, and I think it's really important to recognize, like, this is hard work. And even though I'm the boss, is really hard work. And to take some time out, and if you're so lucky as to be able to take a few days off, wonderful. If not, just take a deep breath, walk around the block, and be with people who care about you. Because there are a lot of cheerleaders out there if you let them know. You know, the smartest people ask for help.
Yeah.
If you let them know.
If you let them know. Cheerleaders. Yay. You got 2 in the studio right here, Regina.
That's right.
Well, 3 now.
That's right. That's right. I'm like heading over to Regina's door.
That's right. That's right.
You know that just hearing you say that reminds me of the scripture, without a vision, the people perish.
Yes.
And to write it down is key.
Yeah.
You know, so it's there as a landmark to go back to when you do have the down times to pump you up again.
That's right.
And to measure your progress.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And measure, I mean, I when I write things down and I think they're going to go a certain way, I have a desired outcome that I can determine whether I've met my goal or not. And that's really important in business and in life.
Yes.
So, hey, so I want to pull Estelle into this conversation, and in case I slip up, Estelle's nickname is Dee Dee, so I call her Dee Dee, just so you guys know.
We all do.
But for all of you listeners, she's Estelle. So, Estelle, tell us a little bit. So you are currently taking a class with Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center in Richmond.
I am.
Yay!
I'm taking the business prep course.
Okay.
With Robbie Kunkel, and I'm about halfway through the course right now, and it's been an extremely motivating and positive experience. I've loved every class and learned so much about myself and about business in general. The class teaches you how to put together your business plan, and it breaks it down into manageable steps so that you can do the work without it becoming overwhelming. They've also helped with learning about financing and marketing and everything in between, really, to find out if the business idea that you have is viable and if you can make it work. So it's really been extremely empowering for me and shown me that I actually do have an entrepreneurial spirit and that I have a viable business. So I'm extremely excited. Yeah.
Yay. So now I know that you've shifted gears a bit. Originally, you were going in to kind of get some foundational insight on how we might go about doing a double portion, which I'd love for you to share with the group. But then you're actually developing a business plan for your own business. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about double portion, and then I want whatever you want to share with us about your personal business. I know it's still in development, but I'd love to have the audience kind of chime in and know how they can support you.
Okay. Well, as a volunteer for Love Never Fails, I'm the donation coordinator for Double Portion, so I take in all donations of clothing and furniture and whatever else is being donated to Love Never Fails. And we take those goods and then use those goods to create funding for the IM House and for Love Never Fails. We also work with Allen Temple and Lift Ministries in Hayward, working with community outreach programs every month. So it's kind of like a 4-pronged community service that we provide, I guess is the way to describe it. You can jump in here with me.
Yeah. So
that was good.
That was it. 4-prong. Yeah. So we call it double portion. There's a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons is that we get things from you, then we give them to ladies in the IM house and their children. We also give them to Lift Initiative to give to community members in Hayward. And we give them to Allen Temple so they can give it to community members in Oakland. And then the items that we think are marketable that could be sold in pop-up boutiques or online, we create an e-commerce structure for that. And then the fourth area is that we give them to Regina's store of their vintage clothing. So there's a giving component because you gave to us. Now we can give to these avenues that we where many people in our that we're trying to serve, which are exploited people or people that are living in poverty or have been abused or high risk for human trafficking, will receive these items. But also it provides an avenue for us to receive some funding for the programs. So it's really got multiple facets and multiple benefits to the community.
Social entrepreneurship.
Yes. And then the other piece that we factored into it, so we don't like to do things too simple, do we?
That's not in our nature.
That's not us. So we also have hired the young people that have graduated from our job training program to actually do the inventory and the moving and the selling of the items that are being donated whenever those different scenarios might occur. So it's it's the gift that keeps on giving, right, Dee Dee? So
I just kind of think of it as a giving circle.
Yeah.
And we just keep giving, and it just goes round and round and round to everyone who needs it.
Cool.
And it's a continual giving cycle. So
yeah, I like that. So you're developing a business plan for a separate business as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Well, during the class, I realized that I've always wanted to work in fashion, work with clothing, and so I've decided to open my own business as a personal stylist / consultant. So I'm working on that right now.
That's great.
Developing a plan for that.
Yeah, so Sharon said sign her up. You already know that I need help, right?
Oh, my goodness. Don't we all?
Yes. So if you are interested in getting some fashion help from Miss Estelle Cragholm, go on to Abolition Radio Facebook page, like our page, and say, help me, Estelle.
Yes.
Help me, Estelle.
That's good.
And we can get you started right now. By the time your business plan is done, you'll have a whole pipeline of customers. You've already got
I'm looking forward to it.
So, okay, well, we're going to be right back with another session of Abolition Radio.
We'll be back with more Abolition Radio right after these messages.
This is Pastor Gary from Faith Fellowship in San Leandro. We are so excited about the launch of Abolition Radio every Saturday. And we have seen Love Never Fails under Vanessa Scott grow right here in San Leandro out of our church at Faith Fellowship. And now her ministry. God gave her a passion to get young people out of the sex trafficking and sex slave industry. And she has been doing a phenomenal job. Not only is it locally, but now it's going globally. In fact, I prophesied to her that God was going to use her to go nationwide, and that's exactly what's been happening. She is a woman with a vision, with a direction, and a passion to see these young people come out of this kind of arena. And to God be the glory. Join with her every Saturday on Abolition Radio to hear what she has to say and then become a part of what she's doing. AbolitionRadio.org. Love never fails.
Welcome back to Abolition Radio, where you are invited to join the fight against human trafficking.
And welcome back to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails. So Benita is chuckling. She's got this idea, guys. So I like to do this just kind of on the spot, brainstorming. Let's just be really transparent here. So what's your idea?
She knows how much I hate that.
Okay.
Well, I have always had the dream of a performing arts school.
Oh, yeah.
And as I work in this space, I've I haven't written I'm all convicted now because I haven't written a business plan.
Okay, you can do that.
I know I need to do that. But I've been trying to, in my mind, relate it to how the space can help the anti-trafficking space, help performing arts. So I know that, that's what I teach and that's what I do, but I want to help young people use their talents, in the same way, and teach them how to be more effective and to be effective in this space of anti-trafficking using the arts.
And here's an interesting thing. So I hope no one from Cisco is listening. No, no, it's fine if you are. But I've thought long and hard about, in my job of choice was to have some kind of dance school, right? We kind of talked about that. And so, maybe we should do some kind of dance school, theater school, Regina.
Yep. We have dancers all around.
Yes, music. She's a piano teacher. She also teaches the violin. She's also I don't know if you do voice teaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and then Regina, if you ever have the opportunity to see her, actually, she's going to have a open coffee house. What are we calling it?
I think we're calling it a dinner theater.
Theater on the 26th of June. That's a Friday night, and it's going to be at Lift Ministries in Hayward, which is 22580 Grand Street in Hayward, and cross street is A Street. And we're going to be doing, I believe you're going to do 52 letters. Is that right?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. So she's got this amazing gift. And and then you've been teaching theater to the ladies in the IM house, right, Regina?
I have. That's been amazing.
That's cool.
So your idea?
Very talented.
And so I've done that. I've done it before. I've had a performing arts company. So, just the right timing and that type thing has to. But I'm in school right now with an urban youth initiative program. The DeVos Urban Youth Initiative Program, and I know that the timing is of the essence, and hearing all of these things, they're all going to come together, and that ripple effect is going to continue. My firstborn, like Vanessa, my firstborn is also a dancer and has her dance company and that type of thing. So we have a lot of potential and a lot of resources to pull from. To make it work.
Yeah, and then the other thing is we have tons of people that are in the beauty industry and are, that could, like for performing arts, that could do makeup.
Right.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, we could do plays. We got stagehand people.
That's a passion.
Yeah. So Sharon, get on her.
Okay.
Get her.
I still perform, and so.
And all those things will be a great way to start marketing the program.
Right.
Every performance you do, every radio program you're on, every place you go, you can start talking about the school.
Yeah.
And people are looking for outlets of creativity. There's. Everybody's got their phones and everybody's communicating that way, but it really takes a lot away from that self-performance and self-connection. So I think there's a huge market for it. And, there's certainly a lot of people in the Bay Area, so you're not going to be lacking for that, which is something, for entrepreneurs here, we have certain advantages that people don't in more rural places.
True.
We got customers.
Right.
So... but we really look at Renaissance is figuring out first what's your value proposition? What makes this the dance school? There are a lot of dance schools out there, and they're great, but why yours and why yours now? So you're going to be teaching something different. Your teachers are different, the methodology, or the performance of it. Something has to be, stand out about the school. Okay. Because then that standout really takes it to the next level.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say what it is, but I got an idea.
Oh,
it's good.
No, she made me tell my idea.
No, but
right.
this is a secret that you have to. It's a differentiator. It's a value prop that you can't put on the radio.
Okay.
Trust me on this.
Okay.
Your school. Okay. What should we name your school, Benita?
Well,
Mrs. Beautiful?
No. I do have some names in mind, but I will not be sharing.
Okay, yeah, that
Right.
makes sense. That makes sense. So,
And maybe not publicly on the radio,
right.
but it's really good to share your ideas with people because one idea leads to the next.
Sure.
And then connections kind of form. You know, before you know it, someone actually has a studio that's available.
That is
you
true.
know?
That is true. Well, 3 of the 5 of us already knew about this plan, who are on this program right now. So I started a little bit
Yes.
talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've been criticized because I get so excited about what I'm doing. I'll just go around and start sharing. And it's actually worked out quite well because, like you said, it ends up compounding and people jump in on it. But it's also hurt us in some ways because there's been times where people have not been good stewards of the information that they're being given and collaborative, you know, and I always feel like my ideas are sort of a reflection of the people that I'm sitting with and that I'm in community with. And so, you know, I like doing that, you know, like you said, bouncing ideas off of it. But you have to be kind of careful, I think, at times. It's got to be a safe place.
Yeah.
Are you guys safe? Are our listeners safe? I think they're safe. You guys, we would love to hear from you as it relates to this. So if you have anything that you'd like to contribute, or maybe you'd like to have lunch or dinner with a group of us to brainstorm on this idea of a performing arts school for Benita, I would love to get together and support her in that way. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
I actually was looking to do that to help our next trip.
Oh, our next trip.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell people what's going on there?
Well, hopefully in November, Estelle and I will be traveling. I will be going back to Ghana, West Africa, to help the ministry, City of Refuge Ministries there in Ghana, who do the same thing there that we do here, but their climate is the fishing villages of the Lake Volta region and rescuing the children who have been kidnapped and used as slaves there. But they have the women that they've also rescued as well, and they're in their rehabilitation program and being restored with jobs, and they have an orphanage and a school. So right down my alley.
Yeah.
So we're excited about getting to go back and to help, and we are hoping to take some of our advocates who really want to go and contribute there and as a form of empowerment.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so excited. A few of our, actually one of our board members is a survivor, and she is going to be going with Benita, and she is elated.
Yeah.
And she's also an entrepreneur, and we've been trying to get her signed up in your program.
She
actually
is an entrepreneur.
Yeah, she's got. I keep asking, "Are you Jamaican?" No, no, my son is, so I get to laugh like that. I get to, but yeah, she has like 5 jobs. She's a dog breeder. She makes popcorn. She makes T-shirts. She is an accountant. She's gone to school to become a psychologist. This young lady is fabulous, and she's a board member.
She is a Renaissance woman. We
Yes, she is.
we need to know
she
her.
is.
Okay, we're
Yes,
calling
she
you. We're calling you into this as well. Getting called out. Okay, so we're going to come right back. We're going to tell you about some events that are going on in the community. So thanks so much for listening. We'll be right back with another session of Abolition Radio.
We'll be back with more Abolition Radio right after these messages from our sponsors.
trash bills weighing you down? At Case Industries, we specialize in lowering waste costs and providing trash consolidation and compaction services for multifamily properties, condos, and commercial shopping centers. Let us help you reduce operating expenses and increase property NOI. Case Industries, saving the planet, saving you money. Contact us today for a property trash and recycling assessment online at caseindustries.us or call 510-566-4223. That's caseindustries.us or call 510-566-4223. Case Industries, the property manager's friend.
Hi, I'm Sandra Herrera, CEO of Case Industries. I've found that many employers are looking for ways to help the community but don't know how. I encourage you to consider supporting Abolition Radio as a corporate sponsor. Love Never Fails offers all the resources necessary to help young women and men overcome the trauma of exploitation and abuse. And that's why I'm proud to have Case Industries supporting Abolition Radio.
Welcome back to Abolition Radio, where you are invited to join the fight against human trafficking.
And welcome back to Abolition Radio, the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails. So, Benita, take us through some of those events we've got going.
Well, as usual, we have a plethora. On the 15th of June, the Moving Beyond Barriers and Back to Work awards their conference, but their awards will be also that day, and our very own Vanessa Scott will be receiving recognition for her work with the homeless community and an award there for homelessness and her great work that she does in that regard. On the 20th, our regular Love Never Fails outreach is on that day, first from 11 to 2 at Lift Ministries. That address has been mentioned before, about 22580 Grand Street in Hayward, and that come on out to help give out food and goods to those in need. And the next day, on the 21st, Regina's Door will be having a record release party at 6 in Oakland. At 352, will it be at your studio, at your store, Regina? 352 17th Street, between Webster and Franklin, there in Oakland off of Broadway. And on the 3rd of July at the Alameda County Fair, our annual Love Never Fails tour will take place at 4 o'clock on the main stage there. Come on out and support us. And on the 8th, the Love Never Fails benefit concert at Templo de la Cruz from 4 to 7 in Hayward. So these are just some of our many activities and events that we have coming up. Will there be an evening outreach on the 20th?
Yes, we actually are going to be going to Stockton this month, and we are going to meet at Faith Fellowship Church, which is 577 Manor Boulevard in San Leandro. We're going to meet there at 5:30 so that we can take the bus and meet a group of folks over there in Stockton and go ahead and hit the streets out there.
So note that time change is 5:30.
5:30. And then we will have the training in Stockton as we normally would. The other piece is we've already received interest from one group interested in our Rise as One street outreach. So if you're interested in participating in our Rise as One street outreach, please go on to our Abolition Radio Facebook, like it, and then just indicate that you want to participate in our summer street outreach. We do not have a date set, so we're trying to get a gauge of who might be involved. Last year, I believe, because Justice Matters was involved, Templo de la Cruz, Kingdom Love, Star of David. I'm trying to think of the other organization, Faith Fellowship.
But all over the Bay.
Yeah. And so, if you guys want to do it again, go ahead and like our page and say, I want to do it again. And then other folks, we'd love to have 20 different cities moving on their street in the way that you do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the hands-on way. You may just go and do a prayer walk. You may go and hand out food as you're going. Whatever your unique way of doing your outreach, we embrace that. We'll give you a training and we'll guide you along the way. And then, of course, I wanted to point out that we've made some changes in our organizational structure. And so Benita is now in charge. She's our director of community outreach as well as education. And then Brenda Ribbs is on her team as the program manager of community outreach, specifically street outreach. And she is going to have on her team Emily Hensley, Erica Mapp, and Felicia Madrano.
Yes.
And they are going to be outreach coordinators in their particular areas. So they will be hitting up those, areas and putting together plans with local folks to make sure that we are making as big of an impact as we can. Anything else you want to add to that, Benita?
I think that's it.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we are so grateful for your engagement. Again, we want to invite you to go to our website, loveneverfailsus.com, and see a little bit more about what we do. Also, like both of our Facebook pages. Actually, we have 4 of them now. So we have Abolition Radio.
Yes.
We have Love Never Fails. We have Youth Commission Against Trafficking, if you're between the ages of
12 and 29, and it's LNF YCAT.
LNF YCAT. And lastly, we have Project Look For Me, which is our search and rescue page. And we have all of the missing children ads that are being posted there. So like all 4 of those pages so that you get the different types. We're not going to duplicate the message. It's in case if you're interested in search and rescue, like Project Look For Me. If you're interested in the overall organization, like Love Never Fails. If you want to know what's going on with our podcast, like Abolition Radio. Of course, we wouldn't want to end the story, but actually, before we leave, hey, I just want to thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. And Regina and Estelle, thank you so much. We love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Love you.
All right. So, and of course, we wouldn't want to end the show without making sure that if no one has told you this at all, or you've not heard the show before, we want to make sure you know that
You are loved.
Thanks for joining us this week on Abolition Radio. We trust that you've been inspired by these stories of hope and survival, and that you'll accept our challenge to get involved by contacting us at abolitionradio.org, by liking and sharing our page on Facebook, Facebook/Abolition Radio, or by making a contribution directly to Love Never Fails. Abolition Radio is the broadcast outreach of Love Never Fails, which is a donor-supported, nonprofit ministry that Vanessa founded as a way of directly impacting the lives of young people who are trapped in or at risk of becoming involved in sex trafficking. This broadcast needs your involvement and support. To find out more, simply go to abolitionradio.org and click on Love Never Fails. Today's program was brought to you in part by Case Industries and with major support from the staff and membership and donors at Faith Fellowship Church. Our theme song, Courage to Believe, is by Justin McRoberts. Hear more about his passion for justice and art at justinmcroberts.com. Our audio engineer is Jarrell Martin, and this is Dave Naderhood. On behalf of Vanessa, Benita, and the whole team at Love Never Fails, thanks for listening, and thanks even more for taking action to help set captives free.
You're in the neighborhoods we live in. You're in the ones we're passing by. You're in the ones we call our neighbors, and the ones who still sleep our eyes.